Hi guys, it's Cassie, the reader behind Moments Are, and I am back for your general reading for Monday. This is for Monday, November the 26th, 2018. So this is just going to be looking at the dynamics for the rest of the week and what you can expect, all right? Now, those of you who are watching this and it's not Monday the 26th, it is a timeless reading. So if you've been guided to this, there's probably some kind of wisdom in here for you, okay? And speaking of wisdom, I've got a new oracle deck here that I'm going to be using. It's called Wisdom of Avalon Oracle Cards by Colette Baron-Reid. And just wanted to mention them. We've got the red Carnelian. This is going to be pile number 1. The golden tiger's eye is going to be pile number 2. And the green moss agate is pile number 3. While you guys are thinking about which pile you're going to be choosing, I just want to go ahead and say anything you need to know about me is going to be down below in the description. That does include the timestamps for this reading. I do try to put it in the comments though as quickly as possible. And I also wanted to say I have been out of town. Those of you who I've reached out to already, you should expect your reading sometime within the next 12 hours. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say within 4 hours after this particular reading goes up on YouTube. And then those of you who I haven't reached out to yet, you will get your reading by December 2nd, and I will just email you within 24 hours of when I'm going to send out your reading, so you'll know to prepare for it, okay? Everybody else, if you do want to get a reading from me, the wait time is 4 to 7 days, all right? And anyway, so let's get back to this general reading here. All right, so let's look at the weekend ahead of us, and we're going to go ahead and start with pile number 1, which is the red Carnelian. We're going to get the other 2 piles out of the way. So, pile number 1, those of you who picked the red Carnelian, let's go ahead and see what we got here. I always like to start with the tarot. We've got the 7 of Swords, we've got the Knight of Swords, and then we've got the Hanged Man. Okay, so there's 2 things going on here, okay? One of the things is that I'm seeing a lot of holding on. I'm seeing a lot of holding on to things, almost like a need, like almost a desperate need to just, it's not like hoarding, it's like, oh, what's it called? It's like a scarcity consciousness, like resources are scarce, and it feels like you need to hold on to it. Just know that there's a lot more here in the background than you're thinking you have, okay? There's more where, you know, so if you're feeling like you really need to, like, for example, maybe pinch pennies or something like that, just know that you will be provided for. Now, I'm not saying that that means that you need to go out and buy a PlayStation. I'm just saying that you know, you're going to have enough, okay? So for those of you who've been really stressed about just making ends meet and that kind of stuff, you'll be fine. But just know that there will be some stress with that this week. That you've got the Knight of Swords, so you've got, this doesn't feel like it's the energy of my viewers. This feels like it's the energy of somebody else in your life. This would be somebody who, oh gosh, it feels like it's like a young man in your life. So if you're kind of like in the younger crowd, this could be a romantic interest maybe, or it could be even a young woman for those of you who are attracted to women, or it could be maybe a boss or somebody that you work with, but it's just a young man, very thought-oriented, not very expressive. They're going to actually be expressive with you, not necessarily emotionally expressive, but they are going to want to talk to you a lot, and they're gonna definitely come forward. They want to run their ideas by you, and so you'll find that that's what's gonna happen. And again, for a lot of you, this is gonna actually be a love interest, and again, it could be male or female. And for some of you, it's going to be somebody most likely at work, okay? I'm not getting this as like a family member or anything like that. The Hanged Man is the general energy of this week, which is kind of like more of the same. Now, in one way, that's okay because, you know, well, you got through last week, so, you know, you can get through this week. This is, remember, just for the week, okay? So it is going to be temporary, and we'll be able to check back next week and see how things go. So here are some of the key words. Oh my goodness, this is great. You've got love, you've got wealth, and you've got the Grail Knight, romance, illusion, and seeking the sacred. Okay, so when I think about the Grail Knight, and on the one hand, I think of somebody who's very idealistic, and that's just a wonderful trait to have, because when one is idealistic, they see the positive possibilities that so many other people don't see, and they're able to make those possibilities come to life because they believe in them, you know? And it's just so amazing when you see stuff like that. A person that would be like the Grail Knight might be somebody like Walt Disney, who made all of, like, he took his imagination, he made it come to life in all of these wonderful cartoons and movies. Or it could be, you know, maybe a poet or somebody like that. The Grail Knight also reminds me of somebody who's going after something that they don't necessarily need to go after, because maybe it's a little bit out of their reach. So I think that this is also kind of in the energy of the Seven of Swords, of hanging on and feeling like there's not enough and that kind of thing. So, and I don't want to be confusing, but I think that this is going to be one of those things that's going to apply one way to some of you and another way to the other rest of you, okay? So for those of you who picked pile number 1, if you find yourself more of an idealistic person, right now, something that seems like it's impossible is going to be possible, and you're going to make that happen somehow, okay? For those of you who are less idealistic and more thinking-oriented maybe, and more maybe practical, okay? For you guys, it's just more of that kind of wanting to hold on to things. And while that, I mean, it's totally normal and human to want to hold on to our resources, like the wealth card coming up over here that I'm about to talk about, you are going to be provided for, okay? Again, we've got wealth, okay? So the wealth card indicates that you will have monetary, maybe something surprising, like, a unexpected check, from a friend or a family member or something like that, or maybe you get a refund from, I don't know, like the electric company or something like that. It feels like it's something that's kind of small. But another thing is that right now, or very, very soon, and I mean, it's got to be in this week, you're going to start feeling like you're either making a plan to start accumulating wealth, or you see that you're in a place where you can start accumulating wealth more. And that means basically that you have more than what you absolutely need. So you have enough money to pay all of your bills and buy some of the things that you want, okay? And with that extra money, that's what you're going to be kind of putting away, so that you'll be able to, like save in an emergency and all of that. Those of you who have already done this, this is just for those people. It's just talking about growing your wealth, and that, you're on the right path with that. Love, that's kind of self-explanatory. Obviously, it's important to practice love. At least many people believe that, and I do. But this could also just talk about, we've got these steps, going up to the next level in your love life. Okay, and then we've got rose quartz. This is so funny because the word for this is love life. A new or renewed romantic love is here for you. So that just really reiterates what that love card says. Okay, so there's going to be some stuff going on in your love life, and I wouldn't be surprised if this Knight of Swords, who's like really thinking oriented, who's got something to say, wants to share some of his ideas with you, his or her, of course, comes up as that figure. Or if it's just somebody else, it might be your current partner, just kind of kicking it up a notch and all of that. But generally, this week looks pretty good, okay? Just be aware that even though you have the urge to make sure you've got all those resources, that the universe will provide for you, okay? All right, pile number 2. Those of you who picked the Golden Tiger's Eye, here is your reading. We're going to start with, okay, we've got the Two of Pentacles. You're going to be feeling like you're kind of juggling some things. The Hierophant. Some of you guys might be going to a wedding. not your own. I'm not getting this is your own, but you might be going to a wedding or a ceremony or something like that. It's going to be important this week. You know, if you're anxious about it or anything, everything's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Or you guys might be starting school again. Starting school or starting it. It could be starting a new project, but it feels more like going to school or going to some kind of ceremony that happens in a religious place. Or we'll have a religious figure there. So just kind of keep that in mind. It also might just talk to socializing in general. So yeah, you're going to be feeling like you're juggling a couple of things, and you'll be going to some kind of ceremony or learning something, and then you've got the King of Rods here. So right now, this week, you're going to be feeling kind of passionate. You're going to be feeling kind of, kind of like you might be feeling like just a little on edge. It's not necessarily a bad thing though, because there's like the on edge when you're like irritable and you're anxious, and then there's the kind of being on edge when like something good's about to happen or you're excited, that kind of thing. I think for most of you it's going to be more like the more positive connotation of that. Okay, either way, there's just going to be a lot of almost extra energy inside of you that you'll need to find a way to express, and you can do that with creative endeavor, you know, that kind of thing. Or maybe you want to talk to somebody about that, you know. It could be romance, could be romantic, you know, extra passion there, stuff like that. But yeah, this is a really, I mean, it's actually, I mean, speaking of romance, it actually is a good card for romance. If you're wondering if somebody's going to come forward, this would be a time that somebody might come forward. But, you know, let me go back to the Two of Pentacles. I'm always struck by how this person's like trying to juggle two things over here, and then in the distance you've got these two ships, and it's almost like the ocean's trying to juggle them too. So what that tells me, at least in this particular deck and in this particular reading, is that when you feel a little overwhelmed, like you have a couple of things that you have to take care of at once, and it's a little daunting, and you want both of them to work out, you know. This might be somebody stuck in the middle of an argument between two people that they care about and they don't want to take sides, you know, that kind of thing. It could be juggling between anything, you know. What it's showing is that in nature mirrors that, okay? So just like in our lives, in nature, like in the ocean, when you've got anything that's floating on the ocean, you know, things get tossed up. It gets tossed around, and that's part of the way nature is. That's part of our lives. No, you'll get through it. You'll be fine. The Two of Pentacles can also talk about distance. You know, anytime there's ocean in one of those cards, especially if there's a ship, ships are, like for me at least, they're connotated with longing or a long distance, that kind of thing. So there might be something like that going on. I can't even say if it's a romantic thing or if it's like taking a trip or if it's just a desire, you know. It might even just be a desire to be balanced, that kind of thing. But that's another aspect that I'm getting. I'm gonna go ahead and look at these. Oh, good. You've got trust. All right, that's a good card to get. You'll be finding that it's a lot easier to trust in your relationships, which is great. And I think it's because you're recognizing that even if people might make some mistakes here and there and might not represent the truth 100%, you trust that they have your best interests at heart. However, just like in the Two of Pentacles, you do have some disruption. So you might have somebody in your life right now that's kind of meddling, kind of trying to, it's like they're just trying to, like they're a trickster personality and they're trying to kind of like, just irritate you, that kind of thing. You know, I was talking about the King of Rods earlier being kind of an irritant. Try not to let this bother you. I know it's easier said than done, especially depending on the person. But again, this is temporary. This is something that's going on this week, you know. Next week we'll tune in and see what's going on then. Okay? And this is a really great card to kind of end on, is that you got Jade, which is wellness. The little blurb here is the recovery of health and wellness is here, okay? So this would be a time where, while you're trying to balance, you know, everything else out, you're also balancing your own body and self and soul and emotional and intellectual level out, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. As far as like, just in general, you guys are gonna have balance as a big key word this week. Trust. I mean, I feel like there's something more I need to say about it, but it's just like, it's like it's very steady. There's something that's very consistent now. There's something that's very steady, consistent, something you can rely on. That's the kind of trust that I'm feeling. I mean, you know, trust comes in many different faces to different people, but it's more like you can rely on somebody, you know, that kind of thing. It's definitely with a person. It's not necessarily self-trust, which sometimes does come up. This is somebody else. So this is going to be somebody in your life that you feel like you can rely on. And if there's somebody in your life that you don't know if you can rely on them, this is saying yes, you can. All right. So, looks like you've got a week that's going to involve a lot of balance. Try not to let this disruption get to you. Yeah, and you're going to be fine by the end of the week. So, looks pretty good for you guys. All right, group number 3, those that picked the green moss agate. Let's go ahead and look at the cards for you. All right, here we go. Like to start with the tarot. Okay, you have strength. This is kind of like, this can sometimes mean holding back. This is a kind of strength that's more non-traditional. This isn't brute force. This is non-traditional strength. This is more like, let's say there's a person who's suffering, and instead of talking and complaining about it, they just suffer in silence, okay? Some people might say that that looks strong to them because maybe they'd be like breaking down and crying and stuff like that. I don't feel like that was the best example because, you know, sometimes strength is what it takes to like actually reach out to somebody if you're having a negative experience. But that was what I was led to say, so obviously can't undo it. But yeah, this is more of a gentle strength, you know, taming the lion not with a whip, but with love and gentleness, that kind of thing. And then we've got the Page of Cups. This is great. Even though it might be a little bit new, there is going to be some kind of, it's going to be like feelings are going to be revealed, that kind of thing. In a small way, though. Feelings in a small way. Might take you by surprise here. You got this huge wave. So it might be coming out of nowhere for you guys, but there's going to be some feelings revealed. This is somebody else's feelings, not your own. For some of you, it might be a child. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it. Sorry. I left pile number 2's rock there. I tried to switch them out. Okay, for some of you this might be coming from a child, but for most of you this is going to be coming from someone that's around your age group, one of your peers, basically. And then you've got the Ten of Cups. This is a great card. This is a family card. And it's a family card kind of in its ideal. This is kind of like the happily ever after card. With cups, it has to do with emotions, and this is kind of like the apex of where you want to be when you're in a romantic relationship and that kind of thing. So from this, I'm getting that you're going to be focusing a lot on your relationship, and this just confirms it here. We've got the King and the Queen. All right, I'm gonna turn that over so you guys can see it. All right, so let me talk about the King. And kind of think about this as the Emperor and the Empress, for those of you who are familiar with the tarot. This is, the King is male energy, obviously, male sexual energy, authority, he's an authority, it just talks about discipline, law, more like justice rather than mercy, for example, that kind of thing. And then with the Queen, you've got fertility, feminine power, feminine sexuality, friendships, nurture, and that kind of stuff. So what I think is important about this is that the King and the Queen are a matching pair. They go together. So I really think that this week you're going to be focusing so much more on your relationship than anything else, or relationships with others, okay? And then you've got the ruby, which is basically, I really don't like the words on this one because it's misleading. It's bless your heart, right? Those of us who live in the South of the United States, when we say that, it's not necessarily a nice thing. I don't use that, but some women do. But what it really, I mean, for me, it's more about harmony. It's more about seeking kind of like a social situation, that kind of thing. Reach out for emotional and spiritual support to heal and mend your heart. It could be that this Page of Cups energy is what does heal your heart. And by coming together with balancing the masculine and the feminine, whether it's inside of you or it's outside of you in your relationship, and I really feel a big relationship vibe here, that's what's going to be healing for you, okay? So look forward to some healing. Look forward to somebody expressing their emotions to you. Look forward to feeling like this is kind of a happily ever after feeling. The only thing I want to say, and I really don't like being negative, obviously, you know, this is such a great reading, is just, remember, this is just for the week. So, you know, this isn't necessarily something that is going to be lasting forever. For some of you, it will be fine, you know, yeah. It's not necessarily something that'll be lasting, but this is like the start of something that could last for you guys, okay? So I just wanted to be clear about that, because we're just talking about the energy for the next 7 days, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that, okay? But in all, this is a really positive reading. Not a lot going on at work, not a lot going on, you know, in other areas of your life. It's just really focusing on relationship right now. So yeah, you guys will have some kind of a love week here. Alrighty. As always, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I always enjoy reading the comments and getting feedback. So if you feel moved to leave some, that's great. I love to know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong too. So I'm open to everything. I'm so excited about all the new subscribers I have and just how great you guys are. I mean, you guys are some of the best people I've met. You know, I really missed you guys while I was gone. And I just wanted to thank you for your support. You help me to know what I'm doing is positive for you guys. And I look forward to continuing to make these videos and help you guys out, all right? I will see you soon.